before I begin, I want you to take that, please. Welcome. Good evening. Welcome to Dynamic Dorado. Right here at the top, I would like to shout out this institution, and Miguel, please give him a wonderful round of applause. Thank you all for coming. Live comedy. Even though tonight we're going to be learning some things, some hard-hitting topics, and we're going to see some PowerPoints. That's what we're here to do. And to start, I'm going to present you one. So, why don't we get to it? Who am I? I'm Caleb Houston. I am a comedian, a business consultant, and as you can tell from my very tasteful turtleneck, an underappreciated genius. That's right, I'm a trendsetter. Now, I am here today to convince you of something. I am here to convince you that PowerPoints can be entertaining. A bold claim, I know, but by the end of this, I believe you will join me in believing that PowerPoints might be one of the hottest new comedy tools ever. So let's keep going. You might think that there's the problem of PowerPoints being boring, just puts you to sleep. You're probably expecting them from school or work or maybe even just pandering to those who kind of feel bad about themselves but want to feel a little better. Nobody's ever needed that before, but when I look at PowerPoint, I see something here, which is that a question arises, is it worthless? Comedically. But to me, I look at it and I say no. I say no. We can make something out of this. So now I ask you this. Have you heard of the Soapbox? A small container, usually meant to contain soap, but it's had many other uses in our society. Perhaps you might think of the container itself. Soap has to go somewhere. Yes. Or perhaps derbies, flying around, putting children in these things and just hoping they're all right. Or perhaps you think of early 20th century labor movements, where just a few inches could allow an individual to gather up their fellow men and address the real societal problems that faced us then. And, well, just then, we figured it out. We figured it out. It is all good now. It is all good now. Because I know when you think of Soapbox, you think of American freedom. But I have something else. I see a solution to the problem of PowerPoints. Because you know what is entertaining? Getting up on your soapbox. Just telling people whatever the hell you want. If you're committed enough, thank you, Snaps. That's exactly right. Getting up on your soapbox yelling about things is one of the oldest human arts. I have some examples. Example one, stand-up comedy. You all look like the sort of depraved people who like that. So you understand. Thank you again, Judge number 3. We have, for my second example, perhaps even more fundamental, is Greece. Plato, Aristotle, those other guys, you think that they were just getting greased up and fighting? No, they had ideas. They wanted to yell them. And then, of course, taking it to more modern times, the news, if you can call it that. And you know, I gotta give it to them. That is a take. That is a take. I do have to give it to them. And then, just to address the elephant in the room, there is one more place where people shout their opinions a whole lot. But I digress. I have a proposal for you, audience members. We use PowerPoints to share the wildest ass opinions we can find. Some of the best comedians here in Atlanta or anywhere in the Southeast. And we have been doing this for 10 times. Welcome to Soapbox 10 points. Now, mighty set of competitors today, but we'll get to that because, boom, we've solved it. PowerPoints, they're fun as hell. They're fun. Look, they can be entertaining. Actually, you want to know what? No. Not that they can be. They are. Absolutely are. You're going to be looking like that. Well, you already have. So, let's see here. I have a confession. I want to make sure you get every cent of value out of your evening. So, I have to say, even though I've solved the PowerPoint problem, I think we can take it one step further. Because again, I say no. It's not enough. It is not enough. What would truly make PowerPoints entertaining is this, and I'd like to make sure that the sound is all the way up. It is. Here's what would make it entertaining, folks. I don't know what happened to the sound there. That's right. Thank you. NFL theme song in your sound. Thank you, audience. Fantastic. That's right, folks. I am talking about... Click into it again, Larry. Laura is our wonderful, wonderful tech person today. She took this last minute. So please, everybody give a one round of applause. All right. So when I say sport, I mean competition. I mean semi-arbitrary rules. And I mean performative rivalry. Yeah. Maybe you'll see one born tonight, or maybe you'll see one settle. Who knows? Who knows? You never know with Soapbox. But why? Why? I want you to think about it. Just simmer in that. Why sports? Why sports? Are we back in it? Click on the presentation. There we go. A simple answer, it's fun. And folks, I've given you enough actual examples. You look like sporting folks. So you understand that sports equal that. It's the big game weekend. Go team. Go team. Go birds. Go birds. But I have another reason. We see sports and competition and all of that. They encourage you to be, just to strive to see what you can do. And I ain't settling for anything less than the best of the best. Woo! Thank you. So how do we do this? You know, it's a new sport. There's a lot of rules and all of that. We thank you for coming here on time, everyone. But for those questionings, how dare you? I'm the one up here in the striped jersey. I am going to show you how. The new sport of soapboxing has one goal. Convince you of something. That's right. We've got production values here. Don't let anything fool you. So we have the goal. It's simple, yes? But perhaps you want some examples. Maybe this presentation will be a solution to a pressing social problem. We surely have enough of those and not enough solutions. Or perhaps it is bringing us knowledge of a conspiracy theory that they don't want you to know about. That's right, you don't. We've had sniper dogs come through that window. They've been too lame to take us out. Got too much truth to say. But I must say, we will even accept the simple hot take. Now, if you don't know that, if you're not internet poisoned like me, a hot take is an opinion based on simplistic moralizing rather than actual thought. Now, this is different from a strong take. A strong take is one that's correct. We do accept those, but they are not required. Thank you to Penis Armada for this deputy. He really let us know. Now, wait. Sports have rules, and so does Soapbox. Soapbox has 2 rules, in fact. The first one is that they get 5 minutes. I will be honest, this is a soft 5. We're here. It's already late. This is the last show you're going to. And these people have things to say. I don't want to stop them. But if they keep it under 5 minutes, they get bonus points. And those bonus points bring them closer to winning the coveted Soapbox trophy. Handmade, I'll say, and a $100 bill. Big bucks here, folks. I think this is still legal tender. So, this pen, I've been told it looks great at the top of a piano, or on a bookshelf, or kept inside of a safe, wherever you want to keep it. But that is the first rule. They've got time. They've got to go. Rule number 2. Okay, technically it's 3 things, but it's 1 rule, and that is judging. Because they are judged on 3 elements, and if you haven't noticed already, we have 3 beautiful, wonderful, eagle-eyed judges. Please give it up for them. All of them Soapbox contestants prior, and they are here to make sure that those that come after them are keeping up the Soapbox competition. But let's get into what they are judging. So first, professionalism. This is a professional affair. I have my shirt zipped all the way up. And we want to make sure that everyone is taking their time. They are making sharp jokes, transitions, pushing the boundaries of what you can do with PowerPoint. And we have someone here to make sure of that. We have the current reigning Soapbox champion, Danielle Burns. Thank you for being here. Now, you are very professional. I thought your presentation last time was actually one of the crispest, cleanest ones I've ever seen.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you to me.
Yeah.
So what are you looking for in professionalism?
Well, I am looking for people who have done even a modicum of research more than Wikipedia.
Woo!
I am looking for people who know what slide is coming next.
Yeah.
I am looking for people who know how to hold a clicker and use it appropriately.
Ooh, that's a tough hurdle. I messed it up.
But most of all, I'm looking for somebody with panache, pizzazz, and sharpness that cannot be beat.
Ooh.
Let's do this.
Give it up for Danielle, everybody. Now, next, this is a competition of convincing, so we must measure your convincingness. Did you truly bring it? And tell us something that we now are going to leave here going, yeah, I think so. And we have someone here who's going to push the boundaries of that. Please give it up for Sarah Engelgard. Sarah, what do you think is necessary to convince you today?
Well, you've got to be logical. You've got to have a sound and valid argument.
Ooh, that's tough.
I'm a visual learner, so pictures are great. The fewer words, the better.
Fantastic. Anything else you'd like to say to them?
No.
Give it up for Sarah. Now, the last element is perhaps the secret ingredient that makes this Soapbox chicken wing so delicious. Audacity. Just how fucking wild is this shit? You can convince me the sky's blue all day, but if you convince me that eating tomatoes is actually is as bad as hitting something with a car, that'd be more audacious, now wouldn't it? And we have heard some pretty crazy things on this stage, and I have somebody who definitely can parse through that to judge it tonight. So everybody, please give it up for your convincing judge, Liz Durr. Now, Liz, you asked for this specifically. I'm curious, what are you looking for them to push the boundary on?
I want to hear something I've never heard. No hacks in this house, okay? I don't want to hear no repeat material. I want to hear something that I could have Googled 5 minutes ago. I want something original that has me convinced that Diamond Dallas Page is the leader of the Illuminati. You know what I mean? I need to know that DDP is in the house somehow.
Well, fantastic, everybody. Give it up for Liz. Fantastic, fantastic. So that's it. We're done.
Cool.
And his lack of whistle. There's one more element. And it's you. You craven masses. You patient viewers. You. The Soapbox voters! Give it up for yourselves, please. Now, at the end of the night, there will be a QR code going around. It will also be over there that will allow you to vote on who you think should stand atop the soapbox tonight. You can use any criteria you want, but I do recommend thinking about the judging criteria. Who do you think really brought it for Soapbox? You guys excited to do that? Yeah! Fantastic. Fantastic. So I think I already know the answer to my next question, which is, are you convinced? Are you convinced that PowerPoints can be entertaining? Woo! Well, if you are not, then you will be by the end of the night. So just hang on, folks, and put your hands together for our evening, because I have one last question. Are you ready to for our first presenter. He's wonderful, he's funny, and he's going to start us off. Danny Locken! Getting a transition going.
That's Netflix and YouTube and Hulu if you'd like to check that out. But most of my stuff is based on my videos having sound, so we'll see how fucked I am after get to that. So, for all of you, my presentation is simply this. Rodney Dangerfield and the pursuit for the truth. Who here, just by a round of applause, knows Rodney Dangerfield? Enough people. Well, let me, concerningly, I saw 5 people have a blank face. Well, I'm here for you because Rodney Dangerfield was a stand-up comedian. And he is literally, down was forward. There we go. Down was forward. Now I'm going up, and now it's down is not helping me. There it is. The man. It's the myth. Nay, the legend. Rodney Dangerfield is a stand-up comedian that started late in his 50s and won the nation over through his late-night stints and many movies. Who here, just again, give me that round of applause again. Who's seen a Rodney Dangerfield movie? Even less! Don't you worry, though, because this is not just about Rodney Dangerfield. Nay, this is, again, about the pursuit of truth. But let me give you a little something, a little taste of who, what, and how much influence Rodney Dangerfield had by simply being, quote-unquote, himself. That is blank. Come on, sound.
I'm on a farm. I think I'll change my name to Jethro. What a vocabulary.
He's hot on the trail of fun.
Get away from those chickens. Look, more bunnies.
And adventure.
Who do you think you're dealing with? Little Red Riding Hood?
He's about to discover a farm is the perfect place for love to grow.
I'd give up a bone for you. Cause how much you mean to me. When I went for your place, my heart began to race. You filled my soul with ecstasy.
And you notice that this is a rooster, a.k.a. in the Merriam-Webster, a cock, and its neck is extended. This is a G-rated film.
No respect at all.
Give it up for Rover Dangerfield, everyone. That response you just heard was about how active and how wild the box office went for that movie. Because it didn't do well. Rodney Dangerfield is a very interesting individual because it made me think about something. It made me think so much that I had to put myself in a green screen and Photoshop myself. Because if he was that interesting, that prolific, he was able to convince Warner Brothers to greenlight a fucking animated dog film. Which again, let me remind you, that dog, by that plot, he is a Las Vegas loving dog, as most are, and he is able to go into a farm and win everyone over with his fast-dealing Las Vegas loose slots way. But again, it's only because it made me think about this. Was Rodney Dangerfield even a real person? What fucking individual is this? The mere fact that, again, yes, we all have personas on stage. Am I a real person in front of you? Is this how I talk to anybody at all? That same question is going to be redirected to motherfucking Rodney Dangerfield because you saw the clip. That's how he is in every single interview. I have not seen any other clip where he goes mask off, as the kids say. So, one of my things is audience participation. I'm going to do my best Rodney Dangerfield. And what I need is, you come on up. What's your name?
Troy.
Give it up for Troy, everybody. Troy, pick a job. Any job.
Plumber.
A plumber. I'm going to be Rodney Dangerfield, and you just be a plumber and be as good as a plumber does, okay?
Okay.
All right, here we go, everybody. This is Rodney Dangerfield in real life.
It's broke.
Hey, what's going on there?
Well, I'm going to need to run up to the hardware store, and I'll be back in 4 hours.
Hey, if you do it a little quicker. I tell you, I got no respect when I took a shit in that toilet.
I don't know how I'm going to get a 3-hour nap in if I don't leave and take 4 hours.
Hey, I understand. I went through a divorce myself. And I know when sadness takes anybody over. Because we're both humans, right?
So my wife says.
No respect.
Give it up for Troy, everybody! Let me tell you, that whole interaction, authentic as fuck. Rodney Dangerfield literally goes to the bank. He goes to the grocery store. He does that all the time? No! People have been lying to you this whole time. Not only just Rodney Dangerfield. Well, I'll let the video speak for itself. Because it's not your fault. You have been lied to. Enjoy. You know Fran Drescher from The Nanny. Remember how she sounded?
So, what's the green stuff? It's wasabi. It's like mustard. Gives it a real kick. Ooh, I love mustard.
Note the voice.
So, tell me, how's working with Marvin Hamlet? Daddy, fine, you've got to help me. You have to get Maxwell to ask me back. Gee, you know that mustard really clears up the nasal
She fucking lied to us! She is a fake! You want more proof? Pin and tell her!
Tell her you're holding a microphone. Will you speak today? No.
A fucking fake! He talks! But if you really don't believe me, Gilbert Gottfried, rest in power, my friend.
Those words I never say.
You never used to say that. When we first started dating, you were adamant about having an act. You didn't like it when people cursed in the act.
Fuck you.
You remember that?
Cursing you fucking That's what I do.
You wouldn't say any of that when we first started dating. And he did yoga.
Fake! That piece of shit shit lied to us. That's not a Yago. That's just a person. And guess what? We all do, in fact, have to live in our own truths. And Rodney Dangerfield was, in fact, back in 1957, already doing film with Stanley Kubrick in The Killing in 1957. He was already trying his best, and even went by different monikers. Jacob Rodney Cohen, Jack Roy, which in fact changed his name until he eventually landed on, not Rover Dangerfield, Rodney Dangerfield. The fourth one, which was Rover, was just icing on the cake. But I'll tell you this, though. A lot of major scholars out there do believe that William Shakespeare was not an individual. He was, in fact, comprised of many, many different people. And I'll leave you on this. In conclusion, the truth can be whatever we want it to be. Sometimes we can tip the scales, and sometimes those scales tip us. People to this day believe Shakespeare was comprised of different authors, and most people believe their truth that Rodney Dangerfield was in fact a weed-smoking, late-start stand-up that captured our hearts and minds. Well, my truth is that Rodney was a Juilliard-trained actor that did the role of a fucking lifetime, but that's a soapbox for another day. If I can't convince you, and if you don't believe it, then let me tell you this. I don't need your belief, but I definitely will never get.
I tell you what, right now, the last week was in rough shape. But I don't get a break with nothing. I played hide and seek when I was free.
No respect. No respect.
Why, they wouldn't even look for me.
No respect. No respect.
I was an ugly kid. I never had
I'll walk
fun.
off now.
Wait, no! You're not done! Get back in here!
Hello! I'm back!
Everyone, give it up for Danny Locken! Judges, do you have any questions about this hard-hitting presentation?
Okay, first of all, can you prove without a shadow of a doubt that Rodney Dangerfield actually existed?
Yes, Johnny Carson and a lot of late nights, it was before deepfakes, so those are CBS reported, true broadcasts. And if he was fake, there would be a little blank stage. So all I can do is just work with what I got.
I appreciated your knowledge of Photoshop. That was a very strong Photoshopped photo.
Which one?
I have some questions, though. The embedded videos you use. I feel like they spoke more than you did. What do you have to say about that?
But who put them together? Me. Who bought Adobe? Whose mom bought them Adobe for Christmas because they were a good boy? My mom! And it's the artist behind that art. And I will stick by that.
Final question. What's your mom's name?
Carol Locken.
Give it up for Carol, everybody! But I must move on to the next judge. Sarah, do you have any questions about convincing us?
I have a comment first of all. I'm sorry to say that I was not very familiar with Rodney Dangerfield prior to this presentation. With that being said, I could tell that your impression was spot on.
I'll take it.
Very convincing. I feel like I know him myself. My only question is, if Rodney Dangerfield was in the room with us right now, what would you say to him?
Dad?
Audacity judge. Liz, please, any questions?
More gross, honestly.
I can't stop you.
Okay. Do you relate because you have similar eyes? Do you want to be or bone brush?
Ooh. So the first one, let me address those two. First off, fuck you. Second of all, I know, but I have to stand up for myself. I don't have Rodney Dangerfield eyes. I have Beth Ewing, but the main thing is this: if I wanted to, whether I wanted to be or bone, If I'm exactly where I am now, I would want to be him, because if I do indeed, if I use the term masturbate, if you will be able to fuck myself, thus fucking Rodney Dangerfield. So why not porque no lustos?
Yeah, I agree with that. Why not both? And then this is my last part. I'm from the tri-state, and the most audacious thing you did was that northern accent.
Oh, my Rodney Dangerfield?
Yeah, it was garbage.
That
was the most audacious thing you did on this entire stage.
I appreciate it, and I will take it. Thank you for your time, everyone. Thank you. Am I done?
Give it up for Danny, everybody! Fantastic. All right, well, Lara, cues up the next presentation. I am going to introduce our next performer. I am very excited about what he's about to bring for you. Please, everybody, put your hands together for Jonathan Taylor! Down forward. Should be working all right. Give it up one more time, folks!
Hello, everyone. My name is Jonathan Taylor. You can call me JT. We're all friends here. But my presentation is actually going to be nothing like that. It's going to be very short and sweet, just like this topic and everything related to it. But sex is overrated, logistically. Let me clarify that, because we all know the sensations. We know the biology, the endorphins, oxytocin, all the little hormones popping off in your head. Fantastic. But mathematically, is the work put in on the front end and the back end on a continuous basis worth the effort? I disagree. So let's begin. I mean, do it from the back. Try it. There it is. Oh my God. Oh my God. All right, start with some.
All right, get it again.
Okay. There we go. We're back at it. Let's start some steamy stacks. Okay. So I actually use sources with MLA citations. Because an interquartile range of sex therapists says adequate. Clarify, adequate. 3 to 7 minutes. I don't know about you, 3 minutes. Just like this presentation, it seems long until you get in it. It seems like forever. 3 to 7 minutes. Desirable, 7 to 13 minutes. That's a long time. Can you imagine being in any situation that's 7 minutes long? That's insane. Too short. 1 to 2 minutes. It seems a good time until you all pop popcorn, right? You know what it's like when you're waiting for that last little second to go off? It feels like you're waiting eternity. Time is a construct. So off of this is ridiculous. Anyways, measured on a stopwatch, it takes an average of 5 to 7 minutes for a man to reach orgasm. Someone's capping. Someone is lying. Respectfully. A 2020 study found the average time it takes for women to reach orgasm during sex with men. Clarify. This is hetero. Respect out of all relationships, but we're dealing with hetero in this one specific study. 13 minutes. I'm not built like that. But the overall range is wide. We get it. It's called a bell curve. There are outliers on either side. Sometimes you get a gladiator, sometimes you get a rabbit. That's just my reality. Okay? So we're going to keep going. Bam! Timeline breakdown. The triple P's. I'm going to break this down. We have penis possessing persons, pussy possessing persons. Okay? So let's talk about our timeline. We have introductions. You can introduce yourself to someone. Hey, how you doing? I'm doing good. Nice to meet you. Hey, you're a very attractive individual. Likewise. Boom! Introduction. Establishment of familiarity. Well, hey, you like to go skating? I like to go skating. That's crazy. It's crazy. You should go skating sometime. Establishment. Oh my God! I swear, y'all, I was not pressing. All right, familiarity. This is time, y'all. This is all time on the front end. Now, unfortunately, personality screening gets skipped on some parts, okay? There's a lot of people, there's a lot of red flags that are skipped to this step because we're so focused on that 3 to 7 minutes. I want that instant gratification. But you don't know the work that gets put in to get to that 3 minutes. All right, transportation. You got to have transportation to your penetration location. I go out. I go to a little bar. We got a couple drinks. That takes time. We get to my car. That takes time. I drive to my house. That takes time. I open the door. Go up the stairs. Take clothes off. This is just reality. I'm acting up minutes. Transportation. Then there's foreplay. So incredibly crucial. But people skip it. Because again, instant. They want the instant. That doesn't work. Then you have actual hanky-panky time. You get in, you're doing your thing. Bada boom, bada bang. And then, all that's done. Aftercare. Another thing that's skipped. And then you have the dreaded step. PNC syndrome. Post-nut clarity. This is where everything's made clear, and you have to look at yourself. You have to look at yourself and the person you're next to and say, wow, I spent days, months, weeks, I don't know, what everybody has different timelines. And you just look at people and be like, damn, we just did that. For like 30 seconds. And just imagine you lying next to, if you are a penis-possessing person, you got to look at yourself and say, wow, all that for 30 seconds. If you're a pussy-possessing person, you say, wow, all that for 30 seconds. It's insane. It doesn't make sense. So we're going to keep going. Let's go do some quick math. All right, boom. Penis-possessing. The average, exactly. I'm going to get to it. I'm going to show you why it's Hall of Fame numbers. Penis-possessing. The average lifespan is 75 years in America. That's a decent amount of time. Break that down into minutes. 39,420,000 minutes. There's the average session. Let's say you do 30 minutes. This includes the foreplay. This includes the actual hanky-panky. And this includes the aftercare. 30 minutes. That's wow. If you did that once per week. At 20 years, this is consistency, y'all. This means you have been going at it 30 minutes a night, once a week, for 20 straight years. Hence the Hall of Fame. I'm so sorry. Hence the Hall of Fame numbers. I don't know anybody who's that consistent. That's actually insane. That still only amounts to 31,200 minutes. That means you have 39 million plus minutes left in your life. That's insane. It doesn't make sense logistically. If you're pussy possessing, you have 80 years, 42 million, same kind of numbers, Hall of Fame stats. You still have 42 million minutes left in your life. Y'all, I'm going to leave. Exactly. Don't worry, I'm right at the end. And it's like, you get to this stage. If you try to put up Hall of Fame numbers, I want you to go for it. Absolutely. But please keep in mind that those 31,000 minutes, I could be eating a pizza. I could be climbing a mountain. I could be doing something better with my life. I could be going to therapy. There's so many things I could be doing in this amount of time. So, all that to say is, if you are all sexually active, congrats. But y'all, why focus on eating a pizza for 30 minutes? Actually, sorry, I worded that wrong. Damn. Why focus on trying to get some pussy for 30 minutes when you can eat a pizza for 30 minutes? And those are my MLA citations.
All right, judges. This one's pretty steamy, pretty hot. Professionalism. What you got?
Okay, first of all, as a person who's been on antidepressants since I've been 17, sex is overrated. Now, stats. I see 2020, which is recent enough to be relevant. General rule of thumb is 5 years for a relevant source. What's the first one?
First one is only 2005. So that's why I had to get a more recent one.
Okay, I will accept.
So like a track record.
I will accept the additional source as a booster. That is acceptable. Let me see here. I was wondering if you could expound a little bit on the concept of post-nut clarity.
Oh, so imagine we've been down there before, okay? I've been down there. And those animalistic tendencies to be like, I need the physical release of all the hormones that are building up in my brain. And then the moment that just flushes from your system, your brain goes into ethereal mode. You look at every single decision you've made up until this point. I say, wow, I have spent a lot of time, energy, said a lot of things that I said I was going to follow up on. Me personally, I shoot for the stars. I aim to satisfy. But that's not the reality for a lot of different people. So the post-nut clarity gives you the space to actually analyze all the things you've done, leading to your next encounter.
I would like to counter with, but what about going to bed immediately?
Convincing us, Judge. Any questions? Any questions?
Yes. Let me start by saying that I appreciate all the statistics and figures that you included in your presentation. As I mentioned, I'm a very visual learner. But if you wouldn't mind scrolling back to the quick maths slide.
Yes.
This is where you lost me. Because I'm looking at these numbers, and I'm seeing several orders of magnitudes of difference between the minutes spent on doing the deed, including all the things that you mentioned lead up to that, and the amount that you have still left to live your life. So could you explain, I guess, to me it seems like it's such a small, insignificant number that it's like not that deep.
In multiple ways.
Yeah, that's why I was saying that. I feel like maybe okay, no, you say yours.
You know, it's okay. It's okay. Well, exactly. That's the issue, because I wanted to account for people who, A, shoot for the stars in terms of frequency, versus people who appreciate quality over quantity. So say you say once a week. I wanted to say an average of 30 minutes given time before and after and during. Now, you can go 30 to 45. It was a difficulty trying to make one assessment that accounted for a wide range of data, given the fact that everyone has different sexual experiences. So, this was my on the low end average, still Hall of Fame, because 20 straight years of once a week, it's pretty audacious numbers. So, I try to space it out rather than multiple times a week versus consistency.
All right. Last but not least, we've already touched on audacity, but Liz, do you have any questions?
I do. So are you in therapy? No.
Oh.
Oh. Okay. And I guess my last question for you would be, what do you ask yourself the most during your post-nut clarity?
I ask myself, do we feel the same way about each other?
That's why I nut before I go on the date. Thank you.
JT, any last words here?
Y'all, eat some pizza, y'all. Go outside, get some sunshine.
And give it up for JT, everybody! All right. Here and here, you just needed to stop having sex, and then we'd have all the time in the world.
I think
that's
like still got a lot of time in the world, even have Hall of Fame stats though.
Well, we're about to hear some.
She convinced me against me.
I don't know. We'll just have to see here. I know you're being eagle-eyed, but keep your mind open. There's lots yet to see. We have our next presenter here who is going to give us a very colorful presentation. Please put your hands together for Julia Milton.
Caleb warned you that there would be conspiracies here tonight. I'm wearing double denim, which means you know I'm
The CIA often dealt with perceived American problems from the inside out. They did not assassinate JFK. In 1994, the Wright Laboratory in Ohio released a 3-page proposal on a non-lethal bomb that, when dropped, would make enemy soldiers experience latent homosexual tendencies. And here are 2 things that they don't tell you about that. Number 1, that proposal was based on research started in 1974, only declassified 20 years later. The second thing about that is that bomb, they figured, could be used in society to awaken the latent homosexual gene in all men in order to separate the gay men from the straight men. Why? Because of the American family. You will get to shortly. Now, the proposal was stated to have failed. The research was scrapped. But what if they lied? Now, we start in 1960. In 1960, in American society, the American family is pinnacle. Mom, dad, 2.5 kids, dog, home. This is what the American government wants. Why? Because it keeps us in place, it keeps us in our lane, it keeps us susceptible to their influence. Enter the Beatles. Rise of the Beatles. Why is the rise of the Beatles important? Well, you see, the Beatles had a very important chemistry. The Beatles, I don't know if you know this, were incredibly popular. They sold out droves and droves of stadiums because they had unlocked an algorithm. Groups of 4 or more men, when put together, combined with ultimate singing capabilities and attractive hairstyles, attractive faces, could combine forces to make a powerful pheromone that, when released, would make women so fucking horny. Look at these women screaming in the stands of Beatles concerts with only one goal: to fuck Paul McCartney. They were so, and the raw sexual energy that these images give, guys, if we could go, this whole zone would have been the splash zone. Just the raw sexual energy emanating off of these pictures. Why? Because of these pheromones these men were giving off. It sent psychological signals to these women, making them so horny. They wanted to fuck. They wanted to have babies. Why are babies key? Babies are key to the American family. The more women want to procreate, the more they want to settle down. The more they want to settle down, the more they will build the perfect American family. Fast forward to 1970. The Beatles have disbanded, and America is in turmoil. Are the 2 events related? Legally, I'm not allowed to say. The nation is reaching a boiling point with key gender, race, and Vietnam issues. We are in an uprising. People are protesting in the streets. Mom and Dad are gone. The kids have all ran off. The house is on fire. The American family is in peril. And the American government must step in. Nobody trusts Nixon, so it's not like they can do anything public. So here's what the CIA has to step in. They have to work this problem from the inside out. Now, what does the CIA do? Do they use their anonymous position of power to fix these key gender, racial, and political issues? No! They do the same thing the government has always done when we find something good in the world. Weed, small businesses, memes. They ruin it! They ruin it! So, why do boy bands come into play? Backstreet Boys, New Edition, Big Time Rush, Boys to Men. All and more. Genetically made in a lab to create what the Beatles once had, to recreate this algorithm to make these super sexy pheromones. Why? Because the American family needs to be remade. How do we get remade? Go back to what I said earlier. Super sexy pheromones equal procreation. And if they can convince droves and droves of American women who are now radicalized, who are now fighting in the streets, to go back to the home, then they win. Now here's the how. Super sexy, shirtless men dancing on stage, gyrating their fucking hips, sweating and singing, releasing hundreds and hundreds of molecules of these pheromones into the air. Look at this! This is a twink before the English lexicon knew what a twink was! Now, the super sexy pheromones go directly to the frontal lobe. But did you know that studies have shown that pheromones from men that heterosexual men respond to sexually are the same ones that homosexual men respond to? Now, go back to what I said about the latent homosexual gene. Every man was thought to have had a latent homosexual gene. Now, the gay bomb worked, by releasing pheromones that would arise and bring out this latent gene. Here I'm going with this. I have a graph I made. The blue line, and I found it. The blue line represents the number of boy bands, the number of popular boy bands in America from 1960 to 2015. As you can see, there is a steady increase. We peaked in about 2000 to 2010. There were at least 20 boy bands in America in the year 2000. The pink line represents gay rights in America. Now in 1960, we start with the Beatles. Boy bands are off to a good start. Gay rights, not so much. But as you can see, over the years, it has steadily increased as the amount of boy bands in America has increased. We peak in 2010. The lines intersect. The amount of boy bands to the amount of gay rights is proportional. However, in 2015, there is a steep difference. Gay rights have shot up. Boy bands have gone down. Ask yourself why. Well, that is because two key moments in history happened in 2015. Gay marriage is federally legalized. And One Direction is broken up. America's sweethearts have disbanded, but the gays have won. We have prevailed. Why? Because boy bands, groups of 4 or more men, bringing you that togetherness along with these super sexy pheromones. Because what do gays do when we get together? We group up. Think about it. One studio apartment in Atlanta, 4 and 5 of those roommates are queer. If you think I'm wrong, just go live out here for a couple of months. I promise you. So, the gay bomb worked. But it wasn't a gay bomb meant to find and separate homosexuals so that the American family could be resumed. No. It was a gay bomb. It awakened the latent homosexual gene, and it made gay people band together, all because of our love of sexy twins. I'm sorry, sweetie.
Time winning.
Almost done. Now, with the rise of K-pop boy groups, we see a similar algorithm being tapped into in Korea. So it can only mean one thing. Backstreet back!
Appreciate that, everybody.
Yes, it is.
This is Kim Darling holding a pride flag, by the way.
This is a real picture, isn't it?
This is real. I looked for very long for this.
Fantastic. Judges, I personally have no questions, but I'm sure you do. Let's keep it going in the traditional style of professionalism. Questions?
So I just want to start off by, I really did have a good time with this presentation. Like, it tickled me. And the reason I'm giving you a positive is because I do have to follow up with a negative. And that is, the presentation was the CIA made a gay bomb and it worked, and we spent 6 minutes talking about boy bands and not CIA or gay bombs.
This is fair.
I feel like I was set up for one idea and I was presented with boy bands.
I explained the science behind it. The boy bands were the gay bomb. As I mentioned in my previous slides, I talked about how the CIA tapped into the algorithm and they made boy bands, genetically engineered them to be super sexy to release these pheromones.
Who is your deep throat source?
My deep throat source?
Yes.
It would be Henry Zabrowski from the last podcast on the left. I came up with this idea after listening to his spiel on Inhale.
No further questions.
Fantastic. Sarah, convincingness.
Yes, I appreciate how well researched this PowerPoint was. I have a question. It's not necessarily related to boy bands per se, but I feel like it's a similar avenue. What do you anticipate will happen with the upcoming release of Magic Mike 2, the final chapter?
I imagine a lot of movie theater employees are going to be cleaning up wet floors.
No further questions.
Liz, audacity questions.
Very audacious of you to call denim on denim crazy. Alright,
That's what we're looking for.
Often. And I don't think I'm crazy. Also, as you're aware of, you're very young. As you're aware of, during boy bands were also girl bands. But I didn't see mass groups of men screaming at the Spice Girls concerts. I saw mass groups have been in.
You see, that is because of the group dynamic and the fact that straight men don't respond to pheromones so much as they just respond to visual aids.
And the Spice Girls are, what, not visually appealing?
A cheer flag, I'm afraid. They don't appeal to the male gaze, they appeal to the gay gaze, I feel.
They appeal to all gays. That's why they had all the different categories.
I see this, and I raise you. The red string that I have on the board in my home before I made this presentation does not work.
It's the too dirty of a joke.
Give it up for Julia, everybody! You guys having a good time? Great, great. Well, we are now at the halfway mark. We've got another great presentation, so I'm going to get right to it. Give it up for Beth Ewing. Yeah, Ewing.
But no relation.
We'll give it up for her nevertheless.
The topic is use your phone as a phone. Talking doesn't have to be scary. What up?
Down is forward. Yay.
Okay, there we go. So we've had roughly 150 years of having access to the phone. That's when it was invented. And we have now achieved a mini computer that you can carry around in your pocket. So we as a culture have switched more from a voice-based communication system to more text. And this mode of communication might not serve us as well as we think it is. And here's why. Science says that we are more connected and engaged when utilizing the hierarchy of communication, which is number 1, in person. Number 2, via phone. Number 3, handwritten notes and letters. Text and emails. And very last on the list, social media interactions, aka your like button. In her book, Do Nothing, Celeste Hadley lays out several data points on why switching to more voice-to-voice interactions could be a more attainable solution to reducing burnout, social anxiety, and stress. So that basically, using your phone to talk to people creates a different sort of energy in your brain, which can be more sustainable than taking the time to mentally write out and edit your text. Speaking of energy, have you ever received one of these texts? A breakup text? A cancer diagnosis. Jesus! Oh, your dog has run away from home. Emergency alert! Ballistic missile spread. Shelter! This is not a drill. That actually happened. 38 minutes later, the people staying and visiting Hawaii found out that it was a false alarm. It actually was a drill. And fear me, for I keep a spike holder. What is a spike holder, you ask? It's an organized album in photos. It contains screenshots of conversations. It can serve as a reminder for why you've cut people off. It can also serve as a reminder to finally finish that script that they said you never actually finished. You know, we love a petty bleep.
Oh.
These are examples of screenshots that I keep in my spam folder.
Oh, that's real.
Except hate yourself and the country.
Yes. Yes.
I'm just reading
January 6, 2020 was a very dark time in my inbox. So now we have group messages, Snapchat, and TikTok, where the screenshots are the receipts, and that makes it so much easier to share private conversations with the internet. And the tea that people spill online for strangers that you need to see is legit. A massive trend right now is watch him fall out of love with me through texts. And it starts off real romantic. And it ends with, you are an attention-seeking, poor, whiny bitch making problems out of every single time I breathe. This is true.
But is it wrong?
So, using your voice to dramatically reduce, it's never going to completely take it away, your chances of having your private conversation shared with the internet. Most people are not recording phone calls, but if they are, they typically let you know that it is being recorded. You can understand more context from the verbal cues of talking over the phone. It will hopefully reduce misunderstandings, and you can get direct support from your network anywhere in the world. Remember, kids, your voice is greater than your text. Call someone, it might help more than you think. Yeah.
Under time, plus 1 point. And I do have to make, before we even get into it, this did get converted from PowerPoint to Google Slides. I have not seen any issues, but if there was any kind of jankiness, that's on me. Please don't hold it against her. You can yell at me later. All right, judges, questions.
Was the format different?
This is just slightly, but we were able to fix a little bit of it.
Yeah, I was like, I just wanted to give her the benefit of the doubt. She worked very hard.
Cool.
Very hard.
Okay, first of all, some pluses. I used to coach forensics, which is basically speaking debate for nerds.
Wait, explain that more. Wait, forensics?
Yes.
That's what it's called. Speech debate tournament.
I'm from the Midwest, and that's what it's called.
Okay, sorry. I'm from the South. I didn't get that.
No, it's okay. But the children who did these presentations wish they could dress as professional athletes. They wish they could, Mama. All right. Second question. What was the title of your presentation? Was it Use Your Phone as a Phone?
Yes.
I feel like the presentation itself was much more centered on speaking your truth rather than, I don't know, using your phone for phone calls.
Yeah, I originally had like 20 slides on here, and I had a bit about the teenage phone train, and I was going to sing a little ditty from Bye Bye Birdie.
Can you give us a sample?
Did you really get in?
Yes, yeah. Hi, Nancy. Hi, Ursula. What's the story? Morning glory. What's the word? Hummingbird. Have you heard about you going, Kim?
First song on the Soapbox stage.
I was in Bye Bye Birdie in 7th grade, and I feel like you knew that, and I'm not going to give you bonus.
You're allowed to be as corrupt as you want. Like, we had bribery in the very first Soapbox.
But overall, you knew your shit, and you had sources underneath the slides. I could see them on the slide. God damn. Thank you.
All right, Sarah, convincingness.
All right. I appreciate a lot of what you had to say. I have 2 questions. The first is, what's your take on voice messages that you can send over text?
Yes, I'm a fan of them. You do have to give yourself the time to listen to them. But I use the voice messaging system in Instagram a lot to have an ongoing conversation throughout the day, because it's just much faster for me. Instead of like a 3-hour back and forth over text, I can just say, here's how I'm feeling about that, and then they can respond when they have the time.
All right, I appreciate that. Second question, the phones of today are obviously very different from the phones of yesterday. They have new capabilities that some would say make them more annoying. What are you going to do about people who use speakerphone in public spaces?
Oh, I love this question.
Yeah, they have these really cool headphones now called with the bone connectors. You put them over your ears, and it just like runs the sound through the bone instead of your actual eardrum. I don't know how that science works. I haven't done that research.
Very cool.
I think that more of the public could get behind those.
Phone headphones.
Bone phones.
Headphones.
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 Everybody will be a bonehead then.
And
Yeah, which brings us back to our final judge, Liz. any questions about Audacity?
Yeah, this bitch is fucking stole my look. No, I love that we manage. It's fun. So, okay. The spite folder really resonates with me because I myself am a spite shitter.
Yes, you are.
I am.
Are you spite shitter? Like you shit on spite?
No. I'm saying what I mean.
Oh, you shit on spite. Okay, I'm sorry.
No. I shit because of spite.
Yeah.
Anyways. In fact, the spite folder persuaded me to continue to text personally. I was like, oh yeah, you know what? I do keep those screenshots for a reason, and can't remind myself how much of a piece of shit that person is if I only call them.
Well, hey, Liz, I have a question for you, actually. I think you maybe nicely didn't point out how horrifying those TikTok videos are. That's an invasion of privacy. That's all the thing. How are you any different from the TikTok teens?
I never claimed to be.
Beth, any final words to the judges, to the audience?
If you have a good relationship with your mother, call your mother.
Yeah.
Give it up for Beth, everybody!
I do love her. At least once a week.
Alright. And if you hate her, text her. Alright.
More reason to text.
So folks, we have a very special guest tonight. He took some time out of his very busy evenings to come here and speak to something that he has not been willing to explain to me fully. But please give it up for the Caped Crusader himself, Batman! All right.
Thank you. Oh, I brought my LaCroix on stage. Right? I didn't mean to.
Do you want me
Keep
to
over. Yeah, you want one on that for me? Cool. And Batman. Sweater's my fault. I'm sorry. I did this. This is. I don't do this a lot. That's nice, right? I think there's some metrics that people, judge the success of their life on.
Down is forward. Yeah.
Hell yeah, I got you. I could have made something like this in a cave. I know. Your health, right? Your physical health, financial independence. Having parents. Look! Sorry, not yet. A lot of people are like, hey, man, you clearly have a lot of money, a lot of resources, a lot of trauma. You just go out, you beat up people with mental illnesses, put them back in jail, they get out, you put them back in jail. Why don't you just use those wealth and resources into the infrastructure of Gotham City? I mean, sure. I could pool my wealth and resources into the infrastructure of Gotham City, but I'm working out some stuff right now, okay? Just working some stuff out. Is that cool with everyone? Keep going. The Allman Brothers. From music and Macon, Georgia tourism. Father, murder. Michael Jordan. From Space Jam. Father, murder. Patrick Duffy. From Step by Step? What are you? Okay. Dallas? You watch TV? Both parents dead. Oh, stop. Bruce Wayne. Wayne Enterprises. Billionaire playboy, massive dick. Parents murdered. Bruce Wayne again. Bruce Wayne again. Bruce Wayne again. Sorry, these are a lot of Bruce Waynes. Of varying ages? Lots of Bruce Waynes. Okay. I don't know. I think personally, in my experience, I brought a lot of good to the world being Batman. Just being Batman. Child Protective Services. Who needs it? Am I right? Did you know there's an estimated 153 million children worldwide that are orphans? That's from UNICEF. A source. Did you also know almost none of them fight crime? Can you imagine if all of these orphans fought crime? I'm starting off slow. Only a couple at first, you know? Coney, nothing on me. I'm all about shelf soldiers. They're all out there. I regularly go to circuses and orphans stealing the wheel off my car. You never can get enough robins, because what's the worst that'll happen? Oh, yeah. You lose one every once in a while. It's fine. Crowbars, am I right? Universal health care. Yes, please. Because in my time, I've fought a lot of people. I've come up against, some crazy technology, some weird magic shit. Ra's al Ghul, Lazarus pits. Who needs to see a doctor when you have a Lazarus pit? A lot of you people are not nerds, and I need to explain this to you.
Time warning, Dark Knight.
Oh, shit. Usually like a light or something. Anyway, you got an old cancer-ridden grandma, you don't need to take her to the doctor, throw her a Lazarus pit. She's going to come out non-cancer. She might be smoking hot. That's going to be a problem. Do not try to fuck your grandma in a weird Back to the Future sex scenario. Because what's the worst that could happen? Oh, the benefits of Lazarus pits. All natural, only slightly used by a genocidal criminal. What's the worst that could happen? Oh yeah, your dead Robin can come back to life and use guns.
And like, you want me to feed into the infrastructure of Gotham City? Why? So I can give money to the cops? I know it's sometimes tough to believe. I also want to defund the police. They never solved my parents' murder. I don't give a fuck. I beat the shit out of this guy. I broke the specific vertebra in his spine where he can't get erections anymore. Fuck that dude. Alright, except for Jim's cool. Jim's a pretty cool dude. Other than that, they can, you know? Anyway, I'm just trying to work out some stuff, alright? I got some traumas, and yeah, I think that's it. Give it up for
I want to say that my own parents are in the audience tonight.
Your parents are in the audience?
They are.
You safe get in your cars. Walk your parents. Do you need to be walked to your car?
We'll see after the show. I apologize to interrupt. Judges, this spoke for itself, but I'm sure you have more questions, so why don't you hit the Dark Knight with that?
Well, first of all, I think I dissociated for 5 minutes.
Yes.
So that did something for me. I have the one question that I have is you have all of this money and all of these resources and just an ass load of trauma, and yet you could not present us with the title of your presentation. So I did not know what you were trying to convince us of.
I just think my resources are better as Batman.
Where was that in the presentation?
Yeah, you're right.
But I did appreciate the information on the spine erection vertebrae, and I would love some more research on that for personal use.
Yeah. I can show you that.
Convincingness. Sarah, any questions?
I feel similarly in that I'm not entirely sure what I was being convinced of, but I feel as if I've been convinced of something.
Okay.
That's it.
Fantastic. All right. Well, short, sweet. It spoke for itself, but we have one more judge.
I was lost the entire time, but I found that to be pretty audacious. And then my only question for you, just because this came up a few times, how massive is Bruce Wayne's dick?
Oh, like he's embarrassed aliens. Tonians blush. It's alien envy inducing. All right, it's like pretty big.
All right.
It's like half a utility bill.
I was thinking more 5.
Thank you.
Any more questions, Liz?
No,
Well, Kate Crusader, any last things you'd like to say to the audience or to the judges?
Whoever accepts this dollar bill and has been graffitied and thus vandalized, that's a crime.
I'm glad he's not beating me up, I guess. All right, folks, are you ready for your last presentation of the night? All right, folks, give it up for our final presenter, Shelly Gruenberg. All right, keep it going.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to my presentation about why Julie is the best American Girl doll. My haters, aka Vanessa Gruenberg, will say I should have gotten Samantha because she's Jewish and loud. But Julie's sexy and her parents are divorced. I think that's real cool. And then there's me as an American Girl doll. And, you know, Julie's cool because her parents are divorced. Nick Jonas is cool because he's diabetic.
Oh.
And I'm pre-diabetic, so I'm about to be real cool. I know professionalism is a category, and I've been told to dress for the job you want.
Oh.
This was not a reveal. That's me as an American Girl doll.
Down is full. Is it clicked in? There it is.
Mr. Rex! My actual presentation is that Shelly should have a gun. And if we haven't checked, I'm Shelly. It's only constitutional. It's my right to bear arms, baby. And I may not know much about the law. Perhaps I thought the term grisly murder meant that a bear committed a crime. That doesn't mean I shouldn't be deprived of my constitutional rights. The haters will say, Shelly, you've been institutionalized and cannot legally own a firearm. I've had some dark past. I'll be honest with you. I was a foot picture peddling woman with no regard for salmonella. Maybe I did keep it a little too real. Maybe His Holiness spoke to me directly. A few times. Maybe I have a life-threatening avocado allergy. But I would argue I've healed. Now services me. You understand. I've healed through literature and through medication. And, you know,
Let's go.
Pre-Lamictal. I used to think, life's full of dualities. Some days you can't get out of bed, other days you get to be God. But now look at me. I'm doing really well. I'm a very cosmopolitan woman. I found love. I've reconnected with my family. Whose faces too round for bangs now, Mom? Riddle me this. Clearly I'm not in the dark place I was before, where I would eat a bunch of Slim Jims and just cry myself to sleep on the wrappers. Clearly I've reinvented myself. Just picture me with a gun. Source, just look at it. I would look how big my jugs look with that gun. I would also look hot, pregnant, and on a horse, but I digress. I would solve the real issues. For example, in practical boundaries. Listen, as one of Jewish heritage, I understand how hard it is to not be able to breathe due to centuries of inbreeding. So through humane euthanasia, I take care of them. Other issues I would take care of, a bunch of cans on a fence. That would be so stinking fun. I don't know why, but I think I could knock them all down. And other issues,
this was too controversial a presentation, and I said no. I said absolutely not. But the real thing is that the judges get to decide that, ultimately. I'm just a referee. So judges, any questions for this two-part presentation?
I am also a Jew. And I noticed that you said centuries of inbreeding when really we've been around for thousands of years. So where did it start?
Where did my personal inbreeding start?
Not you. You know what? If you listen, this is a safe space.
Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, baby.
Sarah, convincing.
I was so invested in your presentation the entire time that I don't have anything written, but I guess just off the top of my head, have you considered alternative weapons such as a machete or something a little more dramatic, since it seems that you do have a flair for the dramatics?
Absolutely. I want a weapon I can hide in my pussy.
Oh, okay.
Like a tiny little gun.
What if it goes? What if the safety goes off because the vagina just moves too much?
I'm a very stationary cougar.
Liz, go.
Sure. Are you for hire? And if so, do you have any boundaries on the whole murder thing?
I'm not restrained by any particular morality.
I love that. Quite audacious.
On the side.
That's all I have.
Shelly, any last words to the judges, to the audience? They're ready to clap for you.
Second Amendment, gay rights.
Now, somebody backstage, get those pieces of paper right there on the soundboard and perhaps pass them out. This is a QR code that will link to a Google form where you get to vote on who you think should be the Soapbox champion while our judges do the same. Folks, also please, I say at this time, go follow us at soapbox.ppt on Instagram and keep on the way. Thank you. To get all the latest, next month, 3/11 is the 1-year anniversary of Soapbox.
Whoa!
It's going to be a blowout. Folks. So please do get your tickets, invite your friends, and keep up with the latest hot takes. Now, while the judges do their math, while you do your math, I want to invite all of our presenters back on stage so that they can plug all their shit. Please give your hands up for all those guys. Here goes my judging.
Keep going.
All right, yes. Now, center stage. All right. I'm going to go with stage right here. Would you like to come forward? Any socials or events or anything you'd like to plug?
Sure, you can find me at Hello Beth Ewing on TikTok and Instagram. That's all I got going on at the moment.
Can I pee?
Can you do it really fast? I mean, we're only got about 30 minutes more. Okay.
I'm Julia Milton. You can find me at _Jugal on Instagram, or you can find me at Julia Tells Jokes on TikTok. I also run a show here called the Tag Team Comedy Show. There's one happening this month on February 25th at 10 p.m. again. You should totally come to that. Please follow me for more of my deranged conspiracies.
Hey guys, I'm Shelly. I'm not Shelly Joe on everything. I'm the host of the stand-up open mic here every Friday night. The list starts at 10:30. If you want to come hang out and watch comedy, it starts at 11.
What's up, y'all? I'm JT. I'm actually just original on all social platforms. I make music, so that's all.
I'm
everyone. My name is Danny Locken, and you can find me on Twitch at GhostDL, where I do basically online improv, Ultimate Werewolf. If you like social deduction, we do all sorts of streaming, and if you're interested in wanting to play, hit me up, let me know. I'd love to have any and all improvisers jump in. We do it all around the world. Thank you. GhostDL.
I'm Batman. You can find me on Gargoyles. Hanging people over rooftops and stuff. Hello, the comic. I like the last Reed Peter. He's a pretty cool guy. You can find him wherever on those things at Reed Pedro. It is spelled weird. So, just be around. Are we doing taxi? Or yeah? Okay.
Yeah, we are.
Cross promotion.
Cross promotion. Come see Batman on the 25th again. He's bringing his girl Wonder. We don't know who that is yet, though.
Not doomed.
Not doomed, that's for sure. She's gonna be just fine.
We're done.
We're done. Well, guess what? We have wonderful judges who need to do the same thing while I continue to do math. So, judges, would you like to plug your stuff?
Sure. Okay. Hey, folks. I'm Danielle Brin. You can find me on Twitter at Danny Brin for like fun memes and shit, and you can find me at Danielle.Brin on Instagram from a professional persona or whatever. I work with Murder, Mystery, and Mayhem at Petite Violette. We do shows every Friday and Saturday. They're comedy-based mashups of current stuff that's currently in the media. So we're doing a Bachelor and Mandalorian combo show that's running through April 22nd. You can see me every other weekend. That's it for now. Bye!
Hello, I'm Sarah. Go Birds, first of all.
Go Chiefs! Yeah!
Okay, I'm ignoring that. Second of all, follow Pretzel ATL if you like soft pretzels.
You're awesome!
Yeah, that's PRETZ ATL. Follow it. You'll find
Pretzel!
I'm Liz Durr. My Instagram is Liz Durbator. Please follow me. I'm a comedian and I run a show on Monday nights at Joe's Coffee and EAB 5 to 7. I have features and buckets.
Folks, I'm having to invent new calculus to try and figure out who the winner is tonight. So before I do that, I'm going to tell you who I am. I'm Caleb Houston. You can find me at No Problems Houston on Instagram. That's Houston spelled the right way, not Houston, Houston.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mom and Dad, for their wonderful names. I would also like to shout out to Lara Lacey, who stepped in. Those problems detected on her. Please give it to her in the back. I also have to shout out Reed Duesenberg, who is recording this fantastically. Oh my God, I'm so excited to see this footage. It will be up on the Soapbox Instagram, soapbox.ppt. Follow that. Oh. All right, folks. It is you, the people, who have spoken. The judges were a little. You guys did not bring one person right off the top.
No.
But the people.
I think you're lying.
I'm not. I really am not.
It's probably me, the outlier.
It is with great pleasure that I announce the winner of Soapbox 10 to be Shelly Gruenberg. Okay, yeah, I do have to give it to the runner-up, which is Jonathan Taylor. I'm going to get you $100 now. There we go. Give it up, please. Honestly, everybody did great. Thank you all. Thank you. Have a good evening. Get home safe and support our live comedy. Yay!